We love hip hop.
They're walking through, right? And there's a couple of men that are standing up on the wall, looking grimy. You know what I'm saying? Looking like they're out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
Right?
You got your hands on your shit, making sure that.
There's like they had like the Nike tracksuits and stuff like that.
Okay,
like
yeah.
The hood man or like trapper man clothes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then I'm there with the camera around my neck, like. Maybe these guys are gonna be like, bro, you can't have no freaking cameras around here, right? Mans are like, yo, fam, you got a YouTube channel. I said, oh, snap. The trappers in Vancouver recognize me.
Yeah.
Holy. Well, listen, man, I'm really glad to have this conversation that we're about to start over here. We get into a little bit of a rolling start. I want to make sure that once we start that your mics are good with the chains and stuff like that. But I don't have like headphones for everybody to hear, you know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
But what I will do, I'll put the headphones in the middle of the table, ghetto style today. And let's see if we can get something popping here. We are back. It's your boy Friday Ricky Dread here with another interview for your head top. I'm on my road trip over here in Vancouver, Surrey to be exact, or Delta, or somewhere in the greater Vancouver area. Okay, big salute to Queen's Code Dispensary where we're doing this over here. Hit them up. You can use actually a promo code WLHH. They'll give you a discount. Okay, when you do the delivery service that they have as well. They got some of the best freaking piffs and edibles and all that. I've been having a great old time over here, fam. But yeah, man, salute to them. Hit them up on their Instagram, Queen's Cannabis Co. on Instagram. All right, it'll pop up on the bottom of the screen. And also, big salute to the homie BJ from E3 Entertainment, man. That's my brother right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm really excited to have this conversation here because I've been tapping in with a lot of the West Coast artists and just trying to find out a little bit more about this West Coast scene. And I've been, getting some suggestions as well as looking out to see who I should tap in with. And one of the people that came across my table here, I was like, yo, wait a minute. This guy's been tapped in for a while and has some features with some people. And, it's probably what we looked at like one of the OGs, the young OGs out here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited to have this conversation here. With no further ado, we have Vicky Chan in the
my money on my mind. I was really in the field with the fees calling my line, taking chances on the road.
So how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. You know what I'm saying? Over here in the West Coast, this has been a lovely experience so far. And I really want to get to know you in this conversation here and get to know a little bit more about this West Coast scene as well. You know what I'm saying? As an artist who's been under grind, it's one thing seeing how we do it over there in Toronto and even in Montreal and stuff like that. But in the West Coast, you guys have different obstacles, different struggles, and different successes. So
for sure,
one of the successes, I see that you're at the BET Award last year. How was that?
Yeah, that was lit, man. Definitely a good experience, man. I got to go see a lot of different people, see how like the stage handles events like that, like big events and how they handle it.
Yeah.
It was dope, man. I got lit, I turned up. Definitely a good experience, bro.
Yeah. And even with when I'm there looking on your Instagram page, like you're followed by a lot of Toronto blogs, like you're very tapped in to the Toronto scene out there. Like, tell me the connection, like.
I just been putting out music, bro, for a minute, and like, even right when I kind of started, I had buzz when I came in, when I first started rapping, and I think a lot of people have kind of been seeing things over time, and then in the last couple of years, we really just like been going hard, and people been noticing the name a little bit more, and they recognize it from before. So like, yeah, I've been doing shit for a minute, and in Toronto, people been like hitting me up from time. I think the music kind of resonates out there, it resonates out here. It's something that people can all vibe to, and especially like just knowing that it's Canadian, people can like fuck with it and like be proud of it,
Yeah. And even with you, we're here like right on the border of Surrey, right? But you're born and raised in Surrey.
Yeah, born and raised in Surrey. Yeah, most of my life been out here, and then I just moved to downtown about like three years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was life like growing up over here in Surrey?
It's cool, bro. It's like living anywhere, bro. I mean, you're good, you're bad, a little bit of everything, right? And I feel like Surrey is like the most multicultural, I feel like, at a lot of the places out here.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of everything. You get all different cultures all mixed up in one place.
Mm-hmm. And like, are you Punjabi?
I'm Fijian.
Okay. So explain, I was speaking with a young lady last night named A.W.O.L, right?
Okay.
And she's Fijian also.
Okay.
It's from the Fiji Islands.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And I'm so proud because it's being more iconic in the hip hop world. Like, Future mentioned it. It was mentioned in Whoopty, the song. And, you see the Fiji bottles of water.
So explain that to me, like that culture.
Yeah, so in Toronto you got coolies, right?
Yeah.
So coolies are like what Indians that moved to or didn't move there, but got shipped to kind of like Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad as like indentured servants. So the same thing over there, they happen in Fiji. So I'm originally from India, but we got shipped to Fiji as like indentured servants a couple generations ago.
Okay.
And I'm actually the first generation in Canada from my family. So
Okay. So the language that you guys speak is what language then?
So I speak Hindi, but it's like within India, it's a big ass place, right? There's a lot of subcultures within it, right? So a lot of people be looking the same, but speaking a little bit different language than others. So I speak Hindi, but it's a different version of the Hindi that's like in mainland in India.
Okay, like a different dialect.
Like it's like a broken Hindi, we slang it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in different cultures, they'll slang their words a little bit, so it's like that.
It's like the patois.
Exactly, 100%, exactly.
Okay. So then even with the rapping part, right? Mm-hmm. Actually, before we get to the rapping, what was like high school life like for you growing up out here?
It was cool. It was all right, man. It was like, I guess how to put it, like I said, I'm first generation, right? So we're just figuring. I'm learning everything as we go, right? I mean, I had older cousins and shit to watch, but it was literally us just figuring it out in the beginning. As you grow up, there's like tension. You don't know how to deal with other people in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, there wasn't a lot of Fijian people, so I had to go and like with a lot. I was always fucking with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so there's levels to it that I'm thinking now, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're Fijian. Mm-hmm. Are you able to blend with like the other like Indian guys or like Punjabi guys and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or was there a separation there too? Or was there like, were you able to blend with like the other races, like white both guys and different people?
Yeah. So like if you'll notice, even out here, Fijian people are mixed, bro. They'd be like some people in like an Asian crew, some Fijian people went to like white crews and brown crews, and they're all like kind of like mixed into different areas. Because even in my high school, like you were talking about high school, there was probably only like one or two other Fijian guys in my grade, and maybe like a handful of people in high school. So everyone's kind of like just blended in, right? Yeah. So I fucked with everybody growing up, man. I had a lot of Asian friends, white friends, brown friends. And then even today, I still rock that same way.
So there was one thing that we were talking about outside about like conflicts with like brown people back in the days when there was like an influx of people coming from South Asian countries, right? Can you explain that or expound on that a little bit more? Like, what was the issues that people were having when they were first coming down here? This episode of the We Love Hip Hop podcast is brought to you by Queensboro Cannabis Company over here in the West Coast. They got delivery for all parts of Queensboro and New Westminster, Delta, Surrey, Richmond, Burnaby, East Vancouver, Tsawwassen, Ladner, Langley, Coquitlam, and White Rock with a minimum purchase of $25 to $100. Receive your delivery within 2 hours of placing your order. All deliveries must be placed by 9:45 p.m. on the same day of delivery. You could also check out their location at 540 Ewing Avenue in New Westminster in British Columbia. Use the code WLHH for a 10% discount, and you can follow them on their Instagram at Queens Cannabis Co. or Queens_Cannabis. Let's get back to the show. Peace.
I guess there's been like in the beginning, from what I hear from like older people that were out here, is there was like definitely tension from like immigrants moving here, from the people that were living in these places in the beginning, and I feel like that happens anywhere. Anyone there's immigrants that come to a new place, especially a lot of them. There's tension. So in the beginning there was a lot of that. So a lot of like fights, stabbings, this, that. And over time, slowly people start understanding each other, and you blend for so long that you kind of like, some of them become your family. So now it's kind of at that point where, it's a little bit calmed down. But in the beginning, I used to hear that it was like, there was a lot of the tensions that were and the arguments and stuff that were going on were like based on race.
Okay. Now with the rapping now, was it something that you were starting from like way young, or something that you started picking up later in your teenage years type thing?
I think it was like right out of high school, right during my 12, like in high school a little bit. You just fuck around freestyling, you drinking and shit like that, and then like when people asked me, I didn't really have a choice, bro. I was fucking with the freestyling and shit. I would remember like, all right, I would say like one sick line, and I'm like, I wonder if I just like took some time with it and wrote some shit down, right? Like I wondered what I would come up with, and literally the first verse I wrote, I went and wrote it. I was like smoked at the crib, and then I went to go show my homies, and I spit it, and right away they're like, "Yo, we gotta record this, bro!" Like, and at that time there's no rappers, nobody's really like doing. We didn't know what the fuck to do, right? So I found a guy that had a studio, went and recorded, put it out, and boom, people were f***ing right off the jump, and like from there, it just kind of led me to different places, and like it was just literally off the first verse I wrote, put it out, and people were like, "All right, you a rapper, bro. You gotta keep doing like this is your kind of calling. You like it's natural to you. Like just keep going."
That's dope, because it's okay. As a black man in the rap game, right? I see a bunch of black guys everywhere. So I'm like inspired by LL, all these different people that look just like me. Now I'm sure that you're getting inspired by a lot of the same like famous rappers.
My boy DJ Tex out here, man.
Like, yo, what up? Right?
You got his interview coming too, or what? You need that one, bro.
You gotta research me first.
We're gonna tap in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But then like for you, like as a brown man coming up in the game, now we're starting to see more representations, right? But who did you have any inspirations back then to be like, okay, yeah, I can do this too, man? He looks just like me.
Nah, like I mean, I was just exposed to hip hop early too, so I always had hip hop in me. Like I was the younger cousin out of everyone that's out here, so they started listening to hip hop. I started listening to hip hop early, right? And like my family went through it. The people in the game, we've seen all the shit that the rappers were talking about. We're seeing it, so I kind of got like, all right, this is maybe the culture that was like can tell me what's going on in all these scenarios that I'm seeing. So I followed all the rappers, and like there was no representation. But that kind of like drove me up. Like I want to be the first to like put it out there, because like I don't know, man. The rap kind of just came like natural, bro. Like I was really like, I don't know if the shit that I put out now was like very melodic and R&B. That's what kind of like took it off as singles. But I was like really rapping back in the days, and I was like really on that hip hop shit early.
Your song that you have with W.C.
Yeah, for sure.
That was like a different flow from 100%. Like them times. Like you've evolved over the years. For sure. And been able to adapt to different things. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, I knew that, bro. I see the game changing. I'm like, even if you're a dope rapper, right now is a tough time for you to be able to like be in the game. So I see already things changing, and I'm like, I fuck with R&B music. I fuck with everything. I can switch it if let me just try at least. And like, that even kind of came natural too, because I fuck with so much like R&B music and melodic shit. So I knew if I didn't do it, I'd be left behind. So I was like, that.
No, man, you made the right moves, man, because music did change. But like, even to touch on those features back in the days, like you had Young Buck, you had WC. How did you get those features like from back then?
So like I said, bro, right when I put that first song out, there was buzz in my hood. Like till this day, Fleetwood Anthem was like the first thing people talk about this shit all the time, right? So it's like there was buzz, and then I like there was nobody really rapping like me. There was like, how you talk about the Canadian rap scene. There was like. That's kind of like the what was Vancouver hip hop was like the kind of the 90s boom bap rap. And I was kind of like different. I was always listening to American rappers, so my style and everything was a little bit catered towards that. So I had buzz. People were like, how's this guy, this brown dude out here rapping like this? Like, what's going on? We put out like one or two more songs again. There was like buzz in the city off that. Like I had photographers, that hitting me up, and one of them happened to like have Dub C in the areas. Like, yo, Dub C's out here. I see you making waves, bro. I want you to work with them. You got a studio, we can set it up. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. We lined it up. we came in. For me, bro, I'm like, this is like my fourth song that I ever recorded.
What?
With like Dub C, really like my fourth song.
Crazy.
And I'm like, all right, bro, it's a test. If you can make a song with this dude, like I know Dub C. Like I say, I listen to a lot of like West Coast hip hop and old school stuff a lot growing up. So when I seen Dub C, I'm like, it's a fucking legend. All right, let me see. This is a test. Yeah. If I can make a song with this guy and it sounds good and I'm on bar, I can keep on pace with him. Keep doing this.
Yeah.
And the song, like, it was fire. Everyone that heard it, bro, was like, okay. Like, we had noise. We had buzz in the city at that time when, like, a lot of people did it.
No, that's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah. So, you know, and you did mention how you seen early, like, evolving into doing different things, right? Even when changing from the mixtape era and stuff like that, how did you find like your way of adapting from like the mixtape era to the iTunes download era to where we are now? Like,
I mean, like you gotta obviously, like, if you like to actually be on top of your shit, you gotta be like updating yourself all the time. It's always changing, right? So obviously streaming was the way people were like listening to music. And you got to put your music in front of people where they're actually listening to it, right? It's like it's tough for people make people like not pay attention over there, but pay attention over here and release music independently or however you want to. You got to be in front of the people. So obviously we had to adapt, learn how to do everything, learn how to put everything out properly. And yeah, I mean, it's just like you always got to keep adapting and seeing what's going on.
And one thing also, like touching back onto the, you know, being a brown guy in the scene, right? I see like Nav has like really busted the door open for the brown guys, right? And there's a bunch of guys who are coming out from the Punjabi music scene and stuff. Do you see a difference now compared to like back in the days when you first started out, as far as like even getting the recognition, having the representation and stuff?
100%. I think people. It's like anything, man. With acting, like in rapping, it's like once somebody kind of gets through and people start seeing that, oh shit, like we can do this, then like it's like the floodgates are open and everybody wants in, right? So like it's dope, man. Shout out Nav, like for him to even, you know, break through those doors and be the first guy to put like, you know, brown people on the map as far as like music and rap and being in that lane of it. I feel like it's gonna open up a lot of doors. People are gonna come through and like everyone's gonna now there's more competition, right? There's like everyone wants that spot now because they know it's there. So I like it, bro. I like it's dope. At least I feel like every generation it's only gonna get better. You know, because the kids start seeing it and they want to get into it. So it's just gonna leave more space. And as far as like the Punjabi scene out here, like music is so big, right? Even right now, I listen to so much like Spanish music and shit. I don't know what they're saying. Right? So Punjabi music is becoming kind of like into that space where it's like international. And you see like Tory Lanez and all these guys working with these artists. So it's a big move, man. Just like when you see the first brown guy in movies, you happy about it, right?
That's true.
You're like, okay, represent. It's the same thing in music. Like it's dope that we have those people, but there's still so much talent out here that I feel like people don't even know about.
Yeah, because one thing that's been bothering me while I've been out here is I'm having a hard time really like connecting the scene, right? You know what I mean by the scene? Like I've been able to find you. I've spoken to other rappers out here. I just had a conversation with Foreign and Anita, who's also from here, but like the scene where like we can be like, okay, this is where I can find all of the rappers. You know what I'm saying? This is where I can find the gangster rappers, where I can find the lyrical guys. Like, why isn't Vancouver scene like gelled like that yet? Big salute to the sponsors, Diamond Club, with delivery all over the GTA and now all across Canada. They got the best selection of flour, edibles, and pens, and all types of goodies that you need. You can find them on their Instagram page, DiamondClub_Canada, or you can find them on the 7 Days of Weed app as well as the Leafy Things app. Let them know that you heard about them through the We Love Hip Hop Network, and they may give you a discount. Big salute to Diamond Club. Cheer! With all the history that it has. Yeah,
for sure. Like even when you speak about the Vancouver rappers, I can see what side that you know about. You know what I mean? Like I know what area, but there's a whole like other stuff going on. That nobody, like I don't know. There's not like one platform that really showcases it all. Like, and we talked about it before. Some of the people that have platforms like to be selective. They're like, if we like this style of hip hop or rap, we're not gonna put any other rappers that on our platform or whatever it is. There's never been that one place, but it's like there's been different scenes that have happened. You know, like there was like early on the streets rappers that were out and doing shit. And then there's like right now there's like even the like melodic rap guys and like the you know the R&B guys. But yeah, hasn't been like one spot where you can be like, all right, let me see what's going on in Vancouver. It's kind of tough. You got to do your research, but there's a bunch of different little micro shit going on for sure.
Do you think that there's a divide between the, I don't want to, you know, for the lack of a better term, like the backpack scene and the street scene? Like y'all don't with each other? You know what I mean? Like the super artistic, we're not gangsters, we're super extra lyrical. Yeah. And then like the guys who are talking about the streets. Super
lyrical, it's like there's like, is it like the boom bap rap type shit?
That's what I mean. Because there's a lot of lyrical street niggas too. Don't get me to it. Don't get that twisted. But I mean the boom bap guys, the quote unquote real hip hop guys that they say. And then do you think that there's a divide between that over here in Vancouver?
I think that's what was like Vancouver hip hop, the boom bap, because we're a new city, right? We don't really catch up on the new right away. If you're lucky, some people know. Like even nowadays, there's not a lot of people that catch up on the new. There's a few of us that really like, you know, the different cities that listen to the new shit and know on top of shit. Yeah. But in the beginning is that boom bap shit. And like I said, like if I do a show, like it'll be like at one of these type of events that do this type of, it's like a hip hop show. It's hard to mesh those crowds in together. Like I said, like my crowd would be like at a club popping bottles, turning up and like, you know what I'm saying? So there's that Vancouver hip hop. And then there's this Vancouver hip hop where we're like, there's people out here that are really out here. They're making like, people are making money doing like every other city, but it's like, they're not considered Vancouver hip hop because it's like, it's not that. Back. Yeah.
That's where I was getting at, because you're right. When I think about Vancouver, I think of that boom bap, back to the essence type of hip hop, and you know, open mics and different things like that. But there's the bottle poppers, there's the hustlers, there's the streets, there's the different things that is all hip hop too.
And it's here. There are rappers that like that can tell you the story and tell it to you properly with sauce, and it sounds good. But it was just I guess the platforms are a part of this, and they didn't really want to put this on. They still wanted to have that. They're trying to hold it as long as they can, you know, type of shit. So like now it's happening where these guys are putting it on their own platforms, and obviously it takes a little bit more time, but that's what it was. Like I feel like the infrastructure before is kind of like, you know, it's like it's irrelevant. People aren't really like it's not that's not what kind of represents the city right now. There's that new wave of shit that's out here, but I'll tap you in, bro. Trust me. I know a lot of shit that I see. All the like people hit me up a lot because I've been here for, you know, a minute doing my shit. So they show me love, I show them love. But there's a whole like going on here that could compete with like Toronto rappers and Toronto scene shit, but they just not. I guess there's no platforms really to showcase. Everyone's doing their own shit and they're making their own moves, but there's like no one place where we're let's talk about these guys. Let's compare. Let's see that.
Like you know, we get to see all of that in the Toronto blogs and stuff like that. And another thing that we get to see with all that type of stuff is the Pollies, right? Yep. Does Vancouver have Pollies?
Yeah, 100. It's like, it's no different, bro, but it's just like Vancouver moves different. Vancouver, I feel like, just from my experience, is very like, kind of like mob. Nobody talks about, like, I grew up you're not supposed to mention no names of no organizations or names of people ever. That's the first rule of like you get X'd out. Like, this is how we don't fuck with you anymore. Is because if you keep bringing up names and this and that. And that's how it's been out here, like, as far as I know, from a long time. Obviously, the music culture changes things, like, you know, and it starts in like different cities, and it kind of like, that all happened where it's like now people want to hear who's got beef with who, what's the names of him, where does he live? Like, it got kind of crazy, right? Like,
so that happens out here too then, like guys are smoking on each other on songs,
but they not know, they like people were doing it. And then right away, cops, feds, everything, everyone gets locked up. People are like, it's very hush-hush out here. I don't think, like, for me, when I go to the States, I don't even know how it works, because, like, people are openly banging out there, you know what I mean? Like, here, it's not really cool, or it's not even, like, normal to do that, you know?
No, Toronto, too, like, you know, not as much as the States, obviously, but I watch the blogs and I know so much about who got issues with who and what gang they're in or what, you know.
I mean, imagine like kids in like Toronto or Vancouver can name you every single set in Chicago. They can.
Yeah.
They'll tell you every set and they'll tell you where they are, what blocks they hang out, all that shit. Like imagine what the feds know. They know like this times they're getting their information from these blogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so like I don't think it's cool. Like it is what it is. It does put people on, bro. Like this is what people want to see and people are able to change their lives and like, you know, feed their families off this shit. Mm-hmm. But like where I'm from and how I grew up was like you're not supposed to talk about certain things and certain things, like so. I kept it on music. People did that shit, but right away, like I knew it was like the feds are on you right away. They're locking everyone up that's doing that shit. So I feel like if you're gonna do it, and you have to kind of be like moving around. You can't be in the city, or you gotta be like it's a different lane. You know what I mean? Like
so, it's safe to say that like there's not a big Vancouver drill music scene.
No, exactly. Yeah, there's street music, but there's no. Like there is, but
not enough to where it's like
if there was enough people still around doing it, then it would have been there. But everyone got locked up. People got this, that, and it just like I'm sure the people are still out there. I'm sure they're figuring out how to come back and make some and make some music and all that. But like it when you start putting that shit out there, you know the feds are coming, right? Yeah. And out here it was so quick. I seen it, and I'm like, it was getting buzz. It was doing all the internet, but boom. It gets locked out, and you know.
Wow. Yeah. I guess that it doesn't matter where you are. That can happen anywhere, and because the internet is such a part of it too, it's it encourages people to like go as crazy, crash out.
Like, would you call it like dry snitching, or what do you consider? Like,
I do consider it a form of dry snitching when way these guys talk about each other online and different things like that. But at the same time. Man.
Like it does put like that's what people are.
Niggas want motion, bro. Man want like they need motion. So it's part of the music, but it's not part of the music. It's such a
thin line,
thin line, slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. Because I can't tell man to not do what they need to do to get traction, but I could also tell them that it's not gonna have a long shelf life.
Or you never know what could happen with it. You never know where it could go. Type shit.
Yeah, because there's some famous drill rappers, but they don't have a long lifespan.
Like, I think, like, as far as that, like, there should be some things that even, like, the top drill artists, I don't know, in my opinion, like, no names, like, certain things, you shouldn't be saying people's names. And if the top guys start going by these rules, then it would, like, all right, like, maybe it'll trickle down to be like, look, we don't need to do, like, we can still say your shit. Like, rap and hip-hop is about expressing everything that's going on. So nobody wants no, like, no one wants to know like cut shit. We want it raw. We want to hear how it is.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that can make things weird,
Go back to doing subs, man.
Yeah.
No more directs, back to subs, man.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. No, that's real talk, man. And with you, with the amount of stuff that you've done in the game, right? What do you think is your biggest accomplishment so far?
These last couple of years have been big, man. Like we hit like millions of streams, bro.
I seen that.
We signed a single deal with Universal Music with a single, so we got like industry people hitting us up. Like we got booked for shows overseas in the States. So it's a lot. Like right now, I'm happy that like I'm doing it my way. Like I said, there's so many different ways that you can do this music. And I'm happy that I'm still doing it my way. So I'm like, and that's cool. Like I can still do a bunch of different. I'm not relying on just music. You have to do that these days. You got to be able to like stand on your own too. But I enjoy doing this shit, and like I'm sure like the podcast is We Love Hip Hop, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's giving me a lot, and this is my way of kind of just giving it back to like a culture that's done a lot for me. So I enjoy doing it for that. But like I'm happy that I'm doing it my way. So
no, that's the best way to do it, man. No, man, we got Vicky Chan in the building.
Turn up. I need to tap you in. You gotta check out some of the new that's coming out, bro. I'm telling you, go for it. I'm gonna even continue to do more research on your music. Yeah.
And you gotta tap me into more artists out here as well from the scene where like the mans are popping bottles and guys might be driving around or cooking up to something. You know what I'm saying? I need me some street too.
Yeah, for sure. It's part of the culture, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we want to hear it raw, but
No, man. Thank you for this, man. What do you got coming up next, bro?
I just dropped a single called Styling on him.
Okay.
We shot the video out in Colombia. You know, we trying to go international with it, right? Like I said, like even so for new artists that come in, they tell me, yo, Vicky, what they want to do with music. I'd be like, travel right now. Go outside and do shit outside because, you know, there's a lot of opportunities outside. So we shot a video out there in Colombia, sorry, at one of Pablo Escobar's penthouses.
Okay.
You know, we had the ladies in there, everything is nice. So that's a single that we just dropped. That's on radio in the States, and we just like putting out singles and videos. Just like follow me on Instagram, Vicky Chan Music, and everything will be on there.
Okay. Before we get out of here, I want to give a quick salute to the sponsors. Big salute to Queens Co. Okay, Queens Co. Dispensary. That's, you know, the crown in the back over here. Use our promo code WLHH and you'll be able to get a discount. They got locations all over the greater Vancouver area. They're expanding all over the place. There's one in Surrey and, you know, all over the place. But check them out. We'll have all of the links in the descriptions. Also, big salute to Diamond Club. Hit them up on their Instagram page, Diamond Club _Canada. Okay, that's for the people over there in the East Coast back in Toronto. And they got delivery across Canada. And last but not least, big salute to Steamin' Hot Grabba. Okay, they got Hot Grabba in all different types of dispensers and different ways that you can get your grabba. Hit them up on their Instagram, Steamin' Hot Grabba. I think I'm going to take us out here with Styling on.
Let's go, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the only way. Come on.
Let's go.
We love hip hop.